What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Sly Cooper yet again, but something feels different about this one. To quote, I think, the promotional material for Scream 6, something feels different. We'll talk about the rumor, but I do want to say, I feel like I'm the most optimistic that I've been in a while, and we'll talk about why as this video goes. I even donned the shirt. I actually have a shirt. My wife gave it to me either for my birthday or for Christmas. Love this shirt, and I'm wearing it out of solidarity, right, for Sly Cooper. So, all right, let's get into it. So this started to pop up. I saw a couple people start to tell me, hey, Alex, did you see this thing on Twitter, or somewhere about Sly Cooper, another Sly Cooper rumor? And I said, oh, another one, okay? However, this is an individual that I don't know much about, but his name is Colin Lack. You can look at his Twitter account right here, okay? He's not a big-time guy, but he has a Twitch channel. He actually has a YouTube channel, and also size doesn't really matter. In this case, it's actually connections that matter, right? This is a man who has gotten a few things right here and there. He sounds very confident, and he doesn't come from like a 4chan janitor in the hallway type situation, okay? Immediately right there, and I guess if you don't know like where I was going with that joke, right? A lot of these Sly rumors that we talk about, I talk about them out of optimism. I talk about them out of, well, we have nothing else to talk about for Sly Cooper, right? And it's something to talk about. There's a chance it's going to happen, but honestly, very unlikely that it does. But they always stem from, okay, well, here's a 4chan thing here. And it's honestly somebody just writing it, just somebody that's typing it out. They've got zero, and if they make up a connection, it's made up. Their cousin's birth father was in the hallway, and he overheard two workers walking down the hall, and they were talking about Sly Cooper, right? And that's how they wrote this 4chan post. That's where our information normally comes from. We're digging from the bottom of the barrel here, right? But this guy does not seem like he's from the bottom of the barrel, and I can respect that, right? He has gotten a few things right, and he's talked a little bit about Xbox, a little bit about PlayStation. I was trying to read through a lot of his Twitter posts last night, and some of the stuff just seems like intuition. Like he talks a lot about kind of Xbox's strategy, and it's like, honestly, I've talked about a lot of that stuff. So it's like, I'm not going to put stock into a guy in the same way I wouldn't put stock into me, right? Like, we have knowledge, we have, you know what I mean? Like, we know certain things are going on, but that doesn't mean that we're like in the know. But he has gotten a few things right. Well, he issued one of the most interesting Twitter posts of all time for the Sly Cooper community, at least, and he said, I'm hearing some updates from my sources about the PS5 Twisted Metal and Sly Cooper. So if you're a PlayStation fan, you should be excited. And then he was asked about it, and he said it's a soft reboot that will feature Egypt as the prologue, but will either retell the first game or be similar but different because of a new timeline. And then he was asked just in general, right? Twisted Metal will be announced at the upcoming PlayStation Showcase this year and will launch on both PS5 and PC at the same time with full crossplay. It'll launch late 25, early 26. As far as Sly, I've heard it's now in full development with a new internal studio, and the studio is Sucker Punch and Insomniac employees who have a passion for platformers. He also says he'll get a trailer in late 25 to early 26, and I think that he's talking about Sly Cooper there, late 25, early 26. Also, it seems like Sony might be using an internal animation studio to make a Sly Cooper TV series featuring traditional 2D animation instead of the 3D one that was canceled. And that is nuts, okay? Now, he does also go on to say, and this is honestly where I get a little confused, he goes on to talk about Astro, and he goes on to say that a lot of Sly's future is dependent on Astro's success, right? If Astro succeeds, then we should all be good. If Astro doesn't succeed, then not. I don't know how those two things can perfectly live in harmony separate, right? Because if you have... Let me pitch it like this, right? So if you go based off his one tweet, and this is the reason, this is, by the way, the only thing that I'm kind of questioning. Everything else I'm kind of willing to give him because he lays out dates, he lays out kind of upcoming things. He's going to either be right or wrong, and we're going to be able to call him out, you know what I mean? But when it comes to this one part, right? So Sly is being made, and it's an internal PlayStation team, which I love that idea, and PlayStation needs to do that, honestly. And it's from Sucker Punch and Insomniac. Ratchet and Clank, kind of history, and then Sly Cooper history, right? Makes sense. That actually makes sense. But they made a team internally that's making Sly Cooper. It's in full development. So there's many people. You're probably talking 50 plus people currently every day working on Sly Cooper. However, if Astrobot fails, doesn't sell, then that game is just completely canceled. I guess I can understand that, but I also guess I don't, because it's like if you're putting in this strategy where I think I'm kind of formulating my thoughts. If you're putting in the strategy where you want to do more of these type of games, right? You want the Ratchet and Clanks, you want the Sly Coopers, you want Astrobot, right? If you're going to do that and you're going to make a team before Astrobot comes out, why would you even do that? You're going to make a team, have them start Sly, and they've already been starting Sly, and then you'll just go there and shut them all down immediately in 1 month from now if Astro doesn't succeed. Why wouldn't you wait for Astrobot to come out, see if it works, and then if it does work, then you green light the project? So in his logic, and he can, by the way, if he's watching, I don't know if he will watch this video, but I would love more context, right? And I'm not again, it's me loving Sly. It's me actually feeling the most confident or optimistic about any of these leaks that we've heard in 3 years. I do feel the most optimistic for this one. I just really want to nail down these things that bug me about it, because these are the only things in my way of getting a freaking Sly Cooper game. I just don't get why you wouldn't wait and for Astro to come out, do good or bad, and then say, okay, Sly can start. Instead, you've already started Sly, and then Astro can kill it if it doesn't do good. Why would you do it out of order like that, right? Beyond that, everything else sounds good. I've said it 1,000 times, but let me say it again, especially with this, if this is true, right, this new kind of strategy. I really like the idea of making small teams within, not just PlayStation, anywhere. Make small teams. I'm talking 100 or less people, and put out games in 3 or less years. The budgets will be smaller. The games don't have to sell as well. And if they do sell well, they can do fantastic, right? And everybody's going to be happy. Why that doesn't happen more, especially in this world with live service versus not live service, I think we will get there. I think it's a matter of who does it first, or who's going to be the first one to figure out that that's the way forward. Because the way forward is to have big studios making your Spider-Mans and your God of Wars and stuff, and then having your live service every so often, right? And then also having small teams, almost indie-like teams, making smaller games, smaller budgets, and maybe one of them just pops off, and then you can kind of transfer it over to something else. That's the way it should be, and that's how you offset the live service stuff. That's how you offset games taking 8 years to be made. That's how you do it. Somebody will figure that out, and I hope it's PlayStation. I hope it's actually all of them. I hope it's PlayStation, because Sly works like that. 3 years, make a 10-hour Sly Cooper game. Who's going to say no to that as a fan? If you're expecting a 50-hour Sly Cooper game, get out right now, because, you know what I mean? That, I just don't think that jives, number one, but that's why Sly Cooper works, because it's not a 50-hour game. It's a 10, 12-hour game, and you can get that out in 3 years with a smaller team. You can sell 1 million units. It's no big deal. Nobody gets fired over it. Everybody's happy. Everybody is happy. By the way, to the Twisted Metal thing, in case anybody's asking, well, Alex, shouldn't the number one red flag be Twisted Metal? Because we had heard that Twisted Metal was canceled. Well, to give this guy a little, again, credit / I'll just go with him for now. He does say separately that Twisted Metal wasn't fully canceled. It was taken away from Firesprite, which sounds right. It was taken away, given to a different team, and they're kind of reworking it to make it a little bit just better overall. The reason why I actually believe that is because of the Jim Ryan stuff, to be honest with you. And maybe we'll make a video kind of talking about this just in general another time, but the Jim Ryan era, especially at the end, right? I really think a lot of it came from him. A lot of these live service decisions, buying Bungie, I think came from him. Not just him, but his leadership and probably the people that was also around him. It's clear Sony has pivoted. And it's not just a conspiracy theory that Jim Ryan's the boogeyman, right? I think you can literally look at it. PlayStation has shifted. They've canceled live service games. Naughty Dog was given the option out to not make The Last of Us multiplayer. I don't think under Jim Ryan they would have been given. I think it was they have to do it. Now it's they could choose. You've seen multiplayer games get canceled. You now see two heads of PlayStation, right? One of them being Herman Hulst, who is more of a fan of single-player stuff, by the way. and it just feels different. You had people being laid off. You had studios kind of being like 50-50 they're going to shut down. But I really think it was a retooling of PlayStation to figure out we still need live service, but we're not going to make 10 games. We're canceling ones that don't make sense or the priorities aren't in the right place, and we're going to shift stuff around. I truly think if you've been paying attention, you've seen it. You've seen PlayStation doing it. So is it that unbelievable? Either of the stories. Is it that unbelievable that Twisted Metal is still something they want and it's just being reworked? Well, that's not unbelievable. The show did amazing, and it's getting a season 2. Season 2 is filming right now. So Twisted Metal is popular enough and should get a game. Sly Cooper. Okay, well, the TV show thing is interesting. I actually think that actually could work, more kid-oriented, all that jazz, but also smaller team. This is something we've been saying that PlayStation, Xbox needs it, EA, everybody needs to do this. And so that makes sense too. None of it sounds insane. That's the thing with me, except for the Astro thing, and that's not necessarily insane. It's just maybe I just don't get it, okay? But nothing sounds off about this, like massively off. When we read these 4chan posts, they seem off. So we'll see. Ultimately, this guy has gotten a few things right. He's listed time periods. And so the first thing that we'll know, right? He says Twisted Metal will be shown at the next PlayStation event. Okay, that's it. That's your mark. So if Twisted, and here's the crazy thing, is if next month, 2 months, whenever it is, if we do get a PlayStation showcase and Twisted Metal is there, I'm going to lose my mind, because is that a guarantee? No. Maybe somebody else could predict Twisted Metal would be there, right? But it's more, it leans more towards trust, right? Maybe you're like 50-50 on this guy right now. If Twisted Metal is there at the next showcase, I feel like it's like, all right, you're 1 for 1. You know what I mean? Now it's, well, can you be 2 for 2? So I'll keep my eye on it, obviously, but I feel pretty okay. Hence why I donned the shirt today. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on. I hope to see you all on the next one.